Welcome. Planning for college is a huge topic for so many of us. But today, we're going to go beyond just the numbers and spreadsheets. We're going to explore how you can build a financial plan that's actually grounded in timeless wisdom. A plan that's not just about success, but about finding real peace in the process.
But before we dive into the financials, I want to start with a bigger question, something you've probably wondered about too. Why is it that we see so many highly educated people, brilliant people with fancy degrees, making choices that are just destructive? It really makes you stop and ask, what's the point of all that knowledge if it doesn't lead to a good life?
And that question right there, it gets to the very heart of what our source material from HeroesMart Academy is all about. The idea is simple, but it's so powerful. Education without morality will hurt. Think about it. Knowledge is just a tool. And without a solid moral compass to guide it, that tool can either build amazing things or cause a lot of damage.
So if the problem is just having knowledge without any direction, then what's the answer? Well, it's about shifting our entire goal. We're not just chasing an education for a job, we're seeking an education for life and for peace.
The real anchor for this whole way of thinking comes from Romans 8:6, which tells us that to be spiritually minded is life and peace. Now, this isn't about throwing academics out the window. Not at all. It's about weaving our faith into our learning so that our minds are set on things that bring true life and true peace.
And that's exactly what the Godly Learner series is designed to do. These aren't your typical textbooks. They're resources that are intentionally built to blend top-notch academics with godly values. The whole point is to develop learners who aren't just smart, but who have hearts full of wisdom, integrity, and that peace we've been talking about.
Okay, so with that foundation in place, the why behind it all, let's get practical. Let's shift gears to the how. How do we actually fund this kind of educational journey in a wise way? Let's break down the 5 main paths you have available.
So here are the 5 main tools in our financial toolkit: savings, scholarships, grants, student loans, and work study. Just getting a handle on what each of these is and how they work is really the first big step to putting together a smart plan you can actually manage.
Now, hold on. Let's pause here for a second because this is absolutely critical. We have to understand the huge difference between grants and student loans. Grants are basically gift money. You can think of it as free money. It's often based on financial need, and the best part is you don't pay it back. Loans, on the other hand, are the exact opposite. It's borrowed money that you have to repay, and it grows over time because of interest. Knowing this distinction is key to keeping future debt as low as possible. All right, now for what I think is the coolest part. We're going to connect these modern financial strategies to some really powerful ancient wisdom. You'll see how timeless biblical stories can give us a blueprint for how to plan today.
So, our first stop is the story of Joseph in Egypt. It's such a fantastic example of planning ahead, of having foresight. It's really the ultimate savings plan. Think about it. Joseph used the 7 good years, the years of abundance, to store up grain for the famine he knew was coming. It's the exact same principle for us. The years before college are our years of abundance. It's the time we have to save and prepare for the expenses that are on the horizon. And the lesson here is just so clear, right? When you prepare ahead of time like Joseph did, you're just better off. You build a cushion for yourself, which means you might not have to borrow nearly as much, and you can avoid a lot of that financial stress down the road.
Okay, next up, let's take a look at the story of Queen Esther. Her incredible journey to the palace is almost like she received a kind of royal scholarship. Her potential was spotted and her entire preparation was paid for.
Esther was chosen, brought into the king's court, and everything she needed to be prepared was provided for her. That's a perfect picture of what a scholarship does. It's money awarded for your talents, your grades, or your service, and it covers your costs so you can fully focus on preparing for your future.
So the big takeaway here is that scholarships are way more than just a check. They're an investment in you and your potential. Just like Esther's sponsorship prepared her to save her people, scholarships can prepare you for incredible opportunities to lead and make a difference.
And for our final piece of ancient wisdom, we have the powerful story of Ruth. Her story is such a beautiful demonstration of what it means to be diligent and to value hard work. You see, Ruth didn't just sit around waiting for a handout. She got up, went into the fields, and worked with her own 2 hands to provide. And that lines up perfectly with the modern work study program, which gives students a chance to work part-time and directly contribute to their own education expenses. What we learn from Ruth is the incredible value of contributing yourself. A work study program does the same thing. It builds this amazing sense of ownership and responsibility, letting you be an active partner in building your own future. It's so empowering.
So, we've looked at the why, pursuing an education with a moral core, and we've explored the incredible wisdom behind these funding strategies. Now let's tie it all together and talk about what it means to plan for a future of real, genuine abundance.
This verse from Proverbs just says it all, doesn't it? The plans of the diligent lead surely to abundance. That diligence, whether it's saving like Joseph, earning scholarships like Esther, or working hard like Ruth, that's the road to abundance. Rushing into things without a plan, that, the verse says, only leads to hardship.
And that, right there, is the ultimate goal. This isn't just about graduating without debt, as great as that is. It's about the entire process. When we plan our lives with diligence and a spiritual mindset, we're building more than just a healthy bank account. We're building a life that's full of order, wisdom, and a deep, lasting peace.
So, I want to leave you with this to think about. As you look at your own journey, your own future, how are you going to apply these ideas? How will you make a plan not just to get a degree, but to build a future that is truly full of abundance and peace?